All right, we're talking to Sonia from Bryan Insurance Agency, and we're going to be talking about insurance rates on your car insurance now.
Yes, Rick. Last week we talked about homeowners rates, and today we're going to talk about auto rates. I've been asking on social media for people if they have questions to ask me, and one of the most common questions that I get from people is, what can I do to get my premium on my car insurance down? So I thought we would talk about that today, some of the factors that make up the premium and what you might be able to do to get it lowered.
Now, some of the things I guess we could talk about are pretty obvious, but then there are other things that folks might not know about.
Right. I mean, there's a lot of different things that go into what makes up your car insurance premium. And, last week we were talking about the two houses side by side and how the premiums could be completely different because of various things. Well, it's the same thing about those cars that are in those side by side houses, the ones that are in those driveways. It's not just the kind of car you have. There's a lot of different things that go into it. And just some of those are your age, and then for younger drivers, marital status, driving record, of course, that's pretty obvious, your claims history. But then some things that you might not think about: where do you drive your car? Is it in a small town? Is it in a city? Because that greatly affects your rates. The kind of car that you have, the value of your car, how you use it. And then a couple of things that greatly affect car insurance is if you went longer than 30 days in a row for the 12 months prior to your current policy without having car insurance, then your insurance company can and more than likely will rate you higher because you did not have prior car insurance. And then the other one is another thing that we talked about last week, and that's the credit score. I don't like it. Again, I repeat myself. I don't like that, but it's the way it is. Insurance companies use your credit score to factor in your rate for your auto insurance, and so that's something that can very much be different from person to person.
Talking about higher rates or rates on your car insurance. You've always see those pictures on Facebook of the mom posting a picture of her son getting his driver's license, and everybody's all happy until that first insurance bill comes in. And then you've also got the person who has multiple tickets or moving violations and things like that, and then they get sticker shock whenever their insurance policy comes out. I mean, there's a lot of different things that go into it besides, credit ratings and things like that.
That's so true. Some advice that I can give you, and I know it doesn't always work out, but when you do have that young driver that just got their license, if you can possibly provide for them a vehicle that does not need physical damage, you might call it a fixer-upper car or whatever, but an older vehicle maybe that you don't have to have the physical damage coverage to the car, that will really help make your premiums lower for that younger driver. And then talking about the tickets and stuff, if you get a ticket, anyone in your household gets a ticket, a speeding ticket, or any other kind of moving violation, of course, the first advice is to not get those violations, to drive safely and obey the traffic laws. But if you do get a ticket, if you can be allowed to take defensive driving or some of the other things that you can do to keep those from your record, it will greatly help your insurance premiums.
Now, you might want to dispel a couple of myths. I've always heard, and people say this all the time, if you drive a red, souped-up sports car, yours is going to be higher than if you drive a white one.
Okay, yeah, that's a myth. The color of your vehicle it's not even a question that your insurance company asks, so the color of your vehicle does not affect your rates.
What about drivers who, they've been driving for a while and maybe of a little carelessness here and there, and, they get a ticket or have a wreck or something like that. They get their insurance premium and they're thinking, hey, I've been doing all these years. Why are they penalizing me now?
I know, it doesn't seem fair. And I'm not saying if you just get a ticket or you turn in one claim that your rates will go up. That's not necessarily true. But I will tell you that to keep your rates from going up, first of all, avoid those moving violations on your driving record. And then as far as claims go, I mean, we carry insurance in case an accident happens. If you have an accident, you need to turn it in if you have the coverage. But here's an example. If you know that you would never turn a claim in if there was damage to your car under $1,000, then have $1,000 deductible. Don't pay for that lower deductible if you're not ever planning to turn a claim in unless it gets over a certain amount. We kind of have one of our recommendations that we make a lot: if you can afford to lose something, don't insure it. And so, and another thing, on those older vehicles, you've got it paid off, it's got several years on it, you need to evaluate the difference between what it's costing you to have physical damage coverage on that car versus what the premium you could save if you didn't, and decide if it's something that you might want to take off and not cover.
Last but not least, I want you to talk about this, because this is something that everybody is getting all up in the air about. You see these commercials on television, they're like, I had a car and I called him Brad and Brad got hit and they want to charge me extra because I love Brad. Or, I just drove it off the lot and got hit and it appreciated like $1 billion. But they gave me this. If that's true, you can get that coverage, but it does cost something.
That's right. If the way that the standard typical auto policy works is, if you have an accident, they will pay to repair it after your deductible, but they won't ever give you more than the actual cash value of that car. And very many insurance companies offer total car replacement. They call it different things. And if you're interested in that, you do need to look at that coverage, but it's not free. You're being charged for it, and you just have to decide, if it's worth it or not for you.
So there's not any kind of a free lunch out there. So if you're looking for car insurance or need some advice on your car insurance, you need to talk to professionals.
Yes, and one thing that I want to say real quick here at the end is make sure you're getting all the discounts that you can. If you don't know, call your agent and ask them, hey, what discounts do you offer? Am I getting them? I won't go through them all, but there's a lot of different ones. But yes, if you would like for us to look at your car insurance or any of your other insurance, just give us a call at 549-2525, or come see us on the second floor of the Sierra Bank building in downtown Graham. Or, of course, you can visit us on the web at www.brianins.com.
Just like buying a car, go talk to your agent about your insurance like you would talk to a salesman about your car, to make sure you're getting exactly what you need. Sonia, thanks for coming by and talking to us about car insurance. And stay tuned. We have more coming up here on Q94.7.